This is W2FJH bringing up the STNY Digital Voice Net on Brandmeister Talk Group 31367, Wires X Room 83721, and live stream to Google Meet and YouTube. The primary purpose of the STNY Digital Voice Net is to help foster an active digital voice community in the southern tier of New York and provide a forum for those that are interested or have questions regarding various digital voice topics. While this net is primarily for the southern tier, all stations are more than welcome to check in. This net meets weekly on Sundays at 7 p.m. Again, the call is Whiskey 2 Foxtrot Juliet Hotel. The name here is Frank. We'll first take a standby for any stations with emergency or priority traffic. Please call now. All right, nothing heard there. If there is any emergency or priority traffic during this net, please give your call sign followed by the word break spoken 2 times. Please leave a 4 to 5 second pause between transmissions for breaking stations or for those who wish to disconnect this talk room. This is a directed net, and the format will follow announcements, questions, and comments. This net utilizes NetLogger, which can be found at netlogger.org. For more information about this net or to join us on Google Meet, please visit STNYDMR.net. That's Sierra Tango November Yankee Delta Mike Romeo.net. You can also find us on 73.net. That's Sierra Echo Victor Echo November numeric number 3.net. This net will prioritize short-time, mobile, in and out, or emergency power stations. We currently do have one station checked in, so the net would like to recognize N2NCB Paul. When checking in, please give your call sign, your name, and your location. So let's take a standby for any stations that are short time, mobile, in and out, or emergency power. Please call now. All right, nothing heard there, so let's open up for any station that would like to check into the STNY Digital Voice Net this evening. Please call now.
And 2RWH, Binghamton.
All right, then I would like to recognize N2RWH Ed. If there's any other stations to join this evening, please call now.
November 4, Sierra Yankee Romeo, N4 SYR Scott in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Good evening.
All right, and then I would also like to recognize N4 SYR Scott in Port St. Lucie. All right, let's kick things off. If there's any announcements for the net this evening, please call now. All right, nothing heard, so we'll move on for questions. If there's any questions for the net this evening, please call now.
NE2W with a question.
All right, NE2W, I'll have you checked in there and fire away with your question.
A while ago, you contacted me to return some equipment of yours you loaned me. I've got it boxed up here and wondered if you want me to drop it off at your work sometime during the week.
Oh, well, thanks, Ed, and yeah, we'll have to meet up at Copernic or something. It's for one of the monthly meetings here at some point. Sorry, I've been really busy with a baby there, but no, I'm currently work from home at the time, so I haven't been reporting to that building at all. So, but yeah, if you have anything after the net, and I can, we can discuss any details there. So, all right, let's see if there's any additional questions for the net this evening. Please call now. All right, nothing heard there, so we will go right into the net topic. Well, go into comments. The net topic this evening was, I was informed that a Yates repeater owner in the area may be open to statically setting a different room on Wires X. It was proposed that we use the KC wide room, and for those folks that don't know about the KC wide room, it has approximately 150 connected nodes. It's a very, very active and busy Wires X room. Has a lot of activity, a lot of nets going on. But I also thought when I was proposed that, I also thought of the STNY room. Definitely nowhere near the activity that goes on with KC wide. But as you know, we also do have that connected to the Southern Tier talk group on Brandmeister. KC wide is also connected to DMR, but again, it's a very busy talk group. So I can see the benefit of both. KC wide has a lot of activity, a lot more activity for the Southern Tier to join in and listen in on. But some people might be a little hesitant on talking with such a broad scale. It's basically to the equivalent of, for DMR, it's the equivalent of like Talk Room, or Talk Group 91 worldwide. Very busy, always active, lots of traffic to there. So, the next topic this evening is a poll. If you guys would like to see KCY or the STNY, Wires X, room set up for this node. So, all right, first on my list is N2NCD. Paul, how was your week?
Logan, Frank, Ed, and Scott into NCB here. Well, the week went fairly well. And then the weekend hit, and working outside, and as things go, when you work outside all day, you find muscles that you didn't know you had. And as I said earlier, that if I was working, I would say that I'm going back to work to rest. But fortunately, I managed to get everything done outside before the rains hit, clean up, that kind of thing, so I wasn't surprised. So that all worked out well. As far as what you're talking about, Frank, no idea on that. Um, so I guess I got to beg off on any comments for the topic today. Seems like there was something else I was going to mention, but I didn't write it down. So we'll turn it back to you, Frank. Take care, all into NCB.
Hey, very good there, Paul. And yeah, if you do think of it later on, we always come back with any additional comments. So we can definitely come back to you there. And yeah, this is kind of just for the folks who may also have Yaesu products. I was just informed that this repeater would have good coverage. So I'm not sure location, frequency, anything like that. I was just told that it would have good coverage, and they were potentially open to not being in the system fusion room. They were open to try to put some other room on there. So I'd bring it up to the other hands. It's not what I think; it's what what the majority of people would like to see there, and I could suggest that. So, all right. Next on my list is N2RWH. Ed, how was your week?
And to WH. Oh, busy week here last week. Well, looking like hopefully it won't be too busy, but we'll see for next week. So, other than that, pretty short on comments tonight. I really guess I don't have any about the net topics tonight, so well, I will turn it back to you, Frank, and hope everybody has a good week coming up.
Hey, very good there, Ed. And yeah, it is. I mean, we're on mostly. We have a bunch of people from TMR, but we also do, tie in with Flyers X. But I completely understand that some people might not also have a Yaesu radio, so might have no input or haven't explored Wires X or anything. Which, if you do have FTM 3DR FT or sorry FT, yeah, sorry. FT 3DR, FT 5DR, FTM 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Definitely let me know, and we can try to get you onto Wires X or exploring that. We can definitely set it up as a net topic just for anybody else in the net there, because it is also another interesting avenue for digital voice. So. All right, next on my list, and my DX station there, and for SYR. Scott, how was your week?
And STNY, good evening, everyone on the net. My buddy Chris, KC2HSU, reminds me to check into the net with this, but tonight I reminded myself. It's been windy down here, but sunny. It's been in the mid 80s. Hopefully it's good weather for you guys. I'm originally from Syracuse, so I believe it should start getting warmer if it hasn't already up there. And last night there was a rocket launch that went off from Cape Canaveral or whatever they call it now, Cape Kennedy, I think now, or something. My house faces north, and I'm about 2.5 hours south of the Space Coast. The one last night went north-northeast. Once it got up over some low clouds, I could see it, and then it started moving away, which was pretty cool. And about an hour ago, another one took off that was going to go over the ocean, but it was just too cloudy. I was not able to see anything, not even a comm trail, but maybe we'll have to catch the next one. And thanks for letting me check into your net, and I'll turn it back over to net control.
Hey, no problem. Anytime there, Scott. And yeah, that is pretty cool to be able to see some space launches there from your house. So definitely interesting. So, all right, moving on to my next station, C2W. Ed, how was your week?
Good evening, Frank and Paul and Ed and Scott. Good to hear everybody. Yeah, busy week. We were gearing up for the Marconi Day, celebrating Guglielmo Marconi's birthday by operating from a tower that he put up here in the city of Binghamton, operating a special event call sign K2M, and that went well. And then even the evening, the run at Copernic was a success. The weather cooperated, and yes, Scott, it's warmer here. It was 70 today, going to be 80 tomorrow. So we've got some warm weather already. Was out working on the yard today. Next run is the bridge run in Binghamton. That's May 5th. Other than that, May is a pretty quiet month after all the club activities we had in April with the Doug's Fish Fry and the run and the Marconi Day. I'm just thinking, I guess my opinion would be to walk before you run, start slow with that. But I don't know that much about it. There is a group here in the area that run the Southern Tier Fusion Network. They're on Wires X Room 21424, and I know you've worked with them before, Frank, but they have a lot of expertise in this, and they may be able to share some insight. They have a net this evening at 8 o'clock that runs for about an hour, and they might they set up their system with certain parameters so that it works well for them, and might be worth asking them. Let me catch a breath here. Yeah, I tried to get in earlier, but my rigidity was locked into some other talk group, and the guys talking on there went back and forth, and the light didn't even turn off. They immediately keyed up just as the other one was on keying, no break whatsoever. But I finally did get in. They took a break. But like I said, I like the less traffic. I know you mentioned 91. I listened to that before. I never really did anything with it. And I know it gives people the wrong impression of what DMR is. They get all set up, and that's the only place they look, and where actually DMR is a lot of different things. It can be anything you want it to be or make it used for. There's times you don't want the whole group, you want an area, or you do want everybody, or you want your own quiet place. When we were chasing DX, we had a 2-meter frequency. We all put up antennas so we could work simplex and not annoy anybody else, but communicate to other guys where the DX was. And maybe the news Paul's talking about, I heard this week that MFJ is going to shut down. The guy that started it turned 80, and I'm sad to see them go. I have a lot of MFJ equipment here. Uh, it's a great equipment for the price. People might complain, oh, it's no good, but it is good, and it's not as expensive as the others. It's going to be sad to see them and all their others go. Very similar to what my wife does with scrapbooking. There's a place called Close to My Heart that provides all kind of stuff for her scrapbooking, albums, you name it, at a reasonable price. And the same thing there, the person's retiring and the business is going out. I talked long enough. Back to you, Frank. This is STNY2W.
Hey there, Ed, and yeah, that's news to hear. Cause I actually also have a few things that are MFJ, and I always thought they did a good job. Like they basically did what they were supposed to. But yeah, I do understand the no break in the talk groups there, but I guess maybe I didn't so this was actually coming from another ham. You probably know who he is. They were looking at putting up another fusion repeater. But it was proposed to me that they were looking to not have it as part of the Southern Tier Fusion net, because they kind of, they have a lot of repeaters for the Fusion net. But I'm guessing the repeater owner was potentially looking at another room, and it was proposed to me that they were going to put it on the KC wide room, which is about the most active room on Wires X. So I would like your feedback on that, Ed, specifically because I know you're probably in the area. I know you have some Yaesu products there, and it was just a suggestion of it was going to be a static room, so it's kind of how the other repeaters are locked into one room. It was still going to be a locked room, but they were questioning on what room should they use. KC wide has a lot of activity, a lot of things going on. Like I said, it's like room 91. Always something going on, but sometimes you want something else. Like you don't want it to be so busy all the time. The Southern Tier room, I own, and it is bridged with the Southern Tier DMR. So anybody on the hotspots or anything, and also a repeater in the area for Yaesu users, we might get more Yaesu users into our net, would be able to join in. So that was kind of the question was, would you like kind of, I just hate to have another repeater that has dead air. So, the net's busy, but then I hate to have another repeater that has dead air. But that was kind of the question. Do you want a lot of activity or do you want maybe not as much activity? So, trying to be a little long-winded there, but I'll hand it back to you there, Ed. I'd like to see your feedback on what you prefer.
Yeah, okay, Frank. Yeah, that's a tough question. I wasn't thinking of tying it into that other group just to pick their brain a little bit, but I know what you're saying now. You've clarified it. Boy, that is a tough question. I sort of like it quiet where DMR could talk to Yaesu. That would be pretty cool. Uh, I don't know. I guess try it that way. If it don't work, go the other way, or try it with a lot of people. Try it one way for a week and the other way for a week, and see which people like better. I'm not really strong either way. Back to you, NE2W.
Okay, very good there, Ed. And yes, that was actually one of my suggestions too. That if we ever went with the STNY room and things didn't work out, people, saying that there's a lot of silence all the time, and they want more activity. I figured you could always go with the KC wide and try that out. But yeah, thanks for your input there, Ed, and I'll relay that on. And yes, I think the other ham in the area is going to be bringing this up also to the Fusion guys. to get their kind of input because they're also the guys who have a lot of Yaesu radios, so they might be interested in having another room. So, all right, this is W2FJH. I have reached the end of my list here. So let's see if there's any additional stations that would like to check into the STNY digital voice this evening. Please call now.
N30.
All right, and we have N30JP. Mick, yeah, it might have been because of a short transmission, but you came in, it was a little glitchy there, but I still got your call sign and everything. So I think you might have heard the discussion there with the Yaesu products or the Yaesu Wires X rooms. So I'll hand it over to you, N30JP. Mick, how was your week?
Well, good evening, Frank. Everybody on the net. I'm outside here. I got the pie on the inside window. Oh, here at Chautauqua Lake for almost a week now. And in fact, Ron and I are sitting out here on the dock trying to catch some crappies. I got a couple. And, the crazy weather. Some mornings there was frost, a lot of rain. Oh, poured the last couple of days, and finally about 4 o'clock this afternoon it quit. There is a C4 FM repeater in the Steubenville, Steubenville, Ohio, Weirton, West Virginia. It's bad weather. Like I say, I'm outside. I got the pie sitting on the couch in the window. Hopefully you're picking me up.
Hey, Mick, we did catch the first half of your transmission there. It's nice to be outside and fishing and be on the net. So I appreciate you stopping by there. You did say C4 FM in Steuben, and then you kind of, at least on my end, that's when you started glitching out. I didn't really catch what you were mentioning about C4 FM and Steuben. So I'll hand it back to you there, Mick, just to give it another go.
W2FJH, N30JP.
Yeah, Mick, I think you might have doubled with me there on that one. I mentioned that we caught the first half C4 FM in Steuben, and then kind of you glitched out there. So see if you can give it another go there.
Oh, hopefully that's better. Sorry about that, Frank. I had the pie star in the window. I see it's coming up on the screen now. I came in the house. So, yeah, I've been here all week at Chautauqua Lake. Well, one day frost, one day just a lot of rain. Had rain the last couple of days. It might be lake effect rain because it seemed to be right along the shoreline. Like I said, there is a C4 FM repeater in the Steubenville, Ohio, Weirton, West Virginia area. It's the northern panhandle, probably 20 miles from where I live in western Pennsylvania. And I know they have nets on Friday night. But other than that, that's the only activity that I know. There might be some up in Youngstown. But I am going to Dayton this year, and maybe it's time to invest in an FT product. Frank, I'll turn it back to you. Sorry for the transmission. W2FJH N30JP.
Hey, no problem at all there, Mick. I don't blame you at all there. You're trying to be on the radio and doing some fishing at the same time. It sounds like a good time there. So, but at least you know now where that, because you were coming in time, but then it kind of went out, and I think wherever you were, that's kind of where the border was of where your hotspot is to to transmit. So you might want to mark down that line there. All right, this is W2FJH with the STNY Digital Voice Net. I have reached the end of my list once again. So let's see if there's any additional stations that would like to check in this evening. Please call now.
N2NCB was a comment.
Yeah, and when to be Paul, fire away with your comment there.
Well, I thought I'd add my 2 cents now that I further understand the net question better. The one thing I think they have to keep in mind is where the repeater is going to be and what frequency it's going to be on. I got Yaesu products, and if the BratNet doesn't run long, I'll try and check in. But there is part of that whole Southern Tier network. One of the repeaters is here in Owego, and it's on 440. Let's just do it that way. And I need the full 50 watts to check into that net. One in Sayre, I cannot reach. The one in Endicott, I cannot reach, simply because of the frequency in the hills, type of thing. Or if it was on 2 meters, that's a whole different ballpark there. So that might be one consideration in determining if they can get 2 meters, or the only thing available is 440 is the location and how many people might be able to hit that particular repeater to do whatever they want to do. The Southern Tier network there, that's pretty locked up. They just like to keep that local. People from outside can come in, but inside cannot go out, if you can kind of get that drift. And that's fine. That's the way they set it up, and they're the ones that do it, so that's just fine that way. So with that, we'll turn it back to you, Frank, into NCB.
Hey, thanks there, Paul. And yeah, I want to say it's going to be on VHF. It was mentioned. You might well, I know you also know the local ham that I was talking to, and I believe he mentioned it might have been on VHF, and he said it'll have good coverage. I'm not privy to, or I shouldn't be, giving out, even if I did have the location or where the coverage would be. But he said it would have great coverage, and I believe it would probably be on the 2 meter. And I'll send it back to you there, Paul, because actually, well, we could talk afterwards, but actually on the BratNet might also be a good place to mention that, and to kind of poll the local hams to see which room, if they were open to putting a different room out, that's not the Southern Tier fusion room. What room would they like to have statically set? So I'll hand it back to you there, Paul, to see if I believe it is a VHF, a 2 meter. So I'll see if that makes any difference for you there.
Oh yeah, that would make a world of difference, especially if it's up on top of the hill. At home base down in the valley, that's a different story. But it's location, location. Uh, so the way you're talking, it sounds like they thought of all of those. So that works for me. But I just thought I'd toss that out just in case they hadn't thought those. Back to you, Frank, and to NCB.
Okay, very good there, Paul, and I'm sure we'll catch up and or either on the BratNet or on the FusionNet. Or at least that's what I was proposing, is to query what people think about it. So, all right, this is W2FJH with the STNY Digital VoiceNet. Again, I've reached the end of my list. So let's take standby for any additional stations that would like to check in this evening. Please call now. All right, nothing heard there, so let's open up for any additional stations or any stations that have checked in with any additional comments, questions, or concerns. Please call now. All right, hearing nothing then, we might as well wrap things up here. So I'd like to thank Paul, Ed F., Scott, Ed K., and Nick for joining me this evening. We'll be returning this talk group back to normal amateur radio use. Everybody have a great and safe week there, and enjoy the warm weather coming up. But here it's going to be like in the 80s for this week. So this is W2FJH. I'll be listening.